Hey, let's try this again one more time. Is this shit working now? Oh my god, thank you. Good. Oh my goodness, bro. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm not gonna lie, that was a straight checkout. Like, yo, you know when you just have one of those moments and you know the world is trying to check you out of whatever you're trying to do? That was one of those moments. Excuse me, but I don't know what happened right there. My mic just wasn't working for whatever reason. And I got it to work. But we're here now. We're here now. Let's run this shit back. Happy Friday. I hope everybody is doing well out there. I hope everyone is having a great Friday so far. We're here, man. We're here. We're here. We're here. We made it. We're almost at the weekend, y'all. We're almost at the weekend. I thought it was a good time to change up the music a little bit. Um, I love this little vibe that we always start with. I really really do. I let everybody gets to come in, settle down, take their seats. You know what I'm saying? Take your coat off, get nice and comfortable before we dig into some basketball conversations and I talk y'all ear off for an hour. But but I appreciate y'all as always, man. And like I always say, welcome in. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. And welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any other topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. And today we are going to be talking about the NBA Emirates Cup some more because there's big games on I was about to say Friday, on Wednesday night, obviously. Some massive games with some massive implications. But I'll be honest, this entire week so far, it's been a spicy ass week. There's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of drama. It's just like, shit is hitting the fan. Shit is hitting the fan where, in that time of the year where there's just a lot going on in the league. There's a ton of different news. Shams has been in the news all week long. Yeah, we're gonna talk all about it. We're gonna talk all about it. So before we start with that, we're gonna start with a little Bronny James talk. Now, Shams, I don't know exactly how you say his name, Shams. He reported earlier in the week that Bronny James will be playing his first away game for the G League, and it was quite a game. It was quite a game that he eventually had. Um, he ended up having a 30-point game in the G League. Um, what was it? 30 with 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block, 2 turnovers, 3 fouls, 13 of 23 from the field, 3 of 9 from three. And so it was a real strong performance from Bronny James. And I'll be honest, I wish I was talking about him in the NBA, but it was a G League game. And, you know, in the same fashion that it's been in the whole year, it gets kind of overblown, right? Right? Um, his previous games with the G League, he's having like 6 points, and there's 2 guys on his team with 28 and 26, and Bronny's the one that's been getting the shine. So, he finally gets himself a big game. Honestly, the my biggest takeaway, right, aside from the highlights, it was the fact that he looked as if he was enjoying the game, and it also looked as if his teammates were enjoying, his presence. Facts. He scored 30. Cool. He scored 0. Cool. What's good, Elijah? How's your finals? How's your finals doing, dog? How's your finals? I was on the phone with my brother earlier. He is going through it right now. But how's your finals, man? I hope they're doing well. I hope it's treating you well, my boy. I hope they're doing it right. But like I said, aside from people be ready to trade players, give max, blow up dynasty over one event. Oh, 100%. You see it every day. Every day. You see it every single day, right? But this was my biggest takeaway, right? Coming into the NBA, the the biggest thing about Bronny was his athleticism, right? His athleticism at 6'2", even though he's undersized, he has speed, agility, and he has jumping ability, right? And up until now, we haven't been able to see that, right? So seeing this right here, I thought was pretty cool. Finals is okay, but my car stopped working. Been having to walk the city. Your lives help. Hey man, that's what I'm here for, dog. That's what I'm here for. Are you walking right now? Are you walking like as we speak? Like that real shit? Hey, you be careful out there, bro. You be careful out there. It's getting dark real early and shit now. You stay safe out there. You stay safe out there. Hope you get your car get fixed. But funny enough, I do know what that was like recently. Remember, our car was in the shop for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we was having to walk everywhere, and we didn't. Luckily for us, we didn't have to go nowhere crazy. But yeah. Oh shit, 5 miles. Weren't you just talking about doing 5 miles at the airport the other day? Brother. Oh my God, cardio on lock. Hey, if it makes you feel better, my buddy's been holding me accountable with running all week. He pulled up on Monday. We ran. I forgot about it Wednesday. If y'all remember, I forgot about it on Wednesday. He hit me up like, "Yo, we running today?" I was like, "Fuck." And then he hit me up to run, so we actually ran earlier this morning. We did 10 miles this week. So I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I'll do miles for you, bro. I got you, fam. I got you, fam. You're not going through it alone. I got you. But back to Bronny James. Let's see this right here, man. This
game, and he was talking a little bit about what he's been able to build on now.
Hello, Bronny James. Backdoor cut, and he's looked comfortable yet again, rocking the rim. Podcast talking about it. There's another turnover at 16, and he's looked comfortable tonight, and he throws it down on one end and then throws up a lob on the other time.
Yeah.
Something that was exciting to talk about. How about Bronny there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nice alley-oop there because he is a little undersized and needs to work on his finishing there. But, there are NBA skills here.
And he's looked confident doing just that so far tonight.
And like I said, the points aside, right? I think the publicity has kind of gotten in the way of Bronny being a potential NBA player. Right? Like, I don't think he's far off. I mean, I even said coming into the year, I think he looks like an NBA player. And confidence is such a massive part of the game. And, you can get it from so many different places, right? You can gain confidence in so many different ways from so many different places. And when you have a player like Bronny, when you look at his skills, it's passing, it's IQ. Seeing him through his high school career, it was, camaraderie. It looked like he was friends with the guys on the team. And to now be in a situation where your teammates potentially resent you because of the opportunities that you've been given, and it's not even really his fault necessarily, right? That his dad is LeBron James. He's just trying to make his career and do his thing. But some of the opportunities that he's been given, I can see how a teammate in a locker room could resent someone like him. And especially in a G League situation where it's every man for themselves trying to survive. That's why seeing his teammate throw the lob to him, right, willingly, because we see players make that cut all the time and they don't get the ball. Throwing it to him with confidence, the point to him after he gives him a lob back, it just shows that maybe he's able to turn a corner, and maybe it starts with being away from his dad. You know, LeBron has been in the rumors lately for it just froze hard. It just froze hard, buddy. Our frames are dropping. All right, we're back. We should be back. All right, we should be back. Anyway, all right, we're back. We're back. We're back. But you know, seeing him interact with his teammates and seeing some of those positive interactions, I think he needs this space to be able to make his own lane and make his own way in the NBA. This whole having him under his dad thing, I don't think it's working in advancing his career along. It's not. There was there was there was a there was news earlier of, you know, his jersey has generated like $50 million for the Lakers, right? Everybody was talking about his contract and it's guaranteed and blah 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 blah. Well, that's why, because they knew the return they were gonna get on him. It was worth the investment, and developing him and actually seeing him as a viable player in this league came second to that. If it was even second on the list, like, I don't know if developing him into an actual NBA player was at the top of their priority list. Number one was LeBron wanted it. Number two, it was a great business opportunity, and clearly they've gotten their return already, right? And you know, they get to make history. And so to develop him, it's just not high on their priority list. And I think, one, he needs to get away from Bron because everyone is different, right? Everyone is different. There are some people that are great with working under their parents or with their parents, and there are some people that aren't. Some people need to get away from their friends, from their parents and their family sometimes in order to grow into who they become. Some people need to be under their wing the whole time. And in each of those scenarios, whether they're close or not to their parents is a totally, it's a whole nother thing. Everyone is different. And so far, it hasn't worked out for Bronny because everything is all about LeBron James this, LeBron James that. And it's not about, all right, Bronny, how can we get you to be an effective NBA player? Right? They talked about Drew Holiday. They talked about all these other things. All right, cool. How do we now get you to that position? How do we get you to that spot? And I think he needs to be in a space where he can really build a relationship with these people. And he's not forming relationships with people just because his dad is, one of the best players ever and is in the same locker room as him. So it was a great performance by from Bronny. I'm sure he's gonna have more bad games too and some good games. And the media is just gonna eat that shit up as they always do. But yeah, man, that's I'm glad to see him. I'm glad to see him get a big game because that adds to your confidence quite a bit. It's been a while since he's had one of those, and it probably felt really good, even if it was a G League game. It probably felt really good to have that experience. Now, speaking on who LeBron, the team that LeBron might end up with, let's take a look at the ending of this Rockets Warriors game really quickly. All right, let's see this.
Green out to Smith. Too much a fight for it. Knocked out of bounds by Pajemski. They'll reset the shot clock to 14 seconds.
Yeah, right now Imadoka will call a timeout. Good offensive possession there. Houston, try to get a quick 2. If not, you got to get a 3 here. Of course, Golden State, stay attached. Don't help off of shooters.
Warriors are out of fouls. Şengün, beautiful hesitation. It's a 1-point game. He's got 26. About a 3-second difference. Shot to game clock as Brooks chases Curry. And everyone's standing here in Houston. Curry steps back on the launch. He missed it. Fight for the rebound. Payton poked away. 5 seconds. Boy, does Green have possession? And Billy Kennedy says foul on the Warriors.
What a sequence of events. And Steve Kerr is in disbelief.
Golden State is out of fouls, and so that will result in free throws for Houston and Jalen Green. Unbelievable.
Right there, diving on the loose floor. Gary Payton II could have called a timeout. Threw the pass out. Great job, Jalen Green, getting on the floor. And yeah, drawing a foul.
Yeah, so what a scenario right there. And we'll get into Steve Kerr's comments in just a second, but I couldn't believe that he called the foul on that. I could not believe it. Like when you talk about shock, I was in shock. I was like, oh, they called a jump ball. I didn't even think that they would have given him the timeout. I thought they just called the jump ball. I said, they called the fucking timeout? I mean, they called the fucking foul? And, both teams played really hard this game. It was a gritty game. It was a defensive game. And for the game to end like that was really disappointing. It really was, because, like I said, they had gone back and forth the whole game. Houston was up, Golden State was coming back, then they're going back and forth at it. You just hate to see a game end like that. And if you here, let's see right here. If you look at this, right, like, I mean, if you're gonna call a foul on Kuminga, you technically could have called the foul on that. He was on his back. Loose ball right here. Look, Jalen, he not even looking for a foul. Like, he not even looking for a foul. He knows exactly What's going on that they typically allow this to happen? And look, he don't even know what's happening. I I can't believe that they I genuinely I genuinely cannot believe that. Like that's unbelievable. Now let's hear what Steve Kerr had to say about this.
I've never seen a loose ball foul on a jump ball situation 80 feet from the basket with the game on the line. I've never seen that. I think I saw it in college one time, 30 years ago. Never seen it in the NBA. That is, unconscionable. I don't even understand what just happened. Loose ball, diving on the floor.
I don't even understand what just
80
happened.
feet from the basket, and you're going to give a guy 2 free throws to decide the game when people are scrambling for the ball. Just give them a timeout. Give them a timeout and let the players decide the game. That's how you officiate, especially because the game was a complete wrestling match. They didn't call anything. Steph Curry got hit on the elbow, plain as day on a jump shot, just clubbed right on there, no call. So you've established you're just not going to call anything throughout the game. It's a physical game. We're going to call it a loose ball foul on a jump ball situation with guys diving on the floor with the game on the line. This is a billion-dollar industry.
Oh.
You got people's jobs on the line. I am stunned. I am stunned. I give the Rockets credit. They battled back. They played great defense all night. But I feel for our guys. Our guys battled back, played their asses off, and deserved to win that game, or at least have a chance for one stop at the end to finish the game. And that was taken from us by a call that I don't think an elementary school referee would have made, because that guy would have had feel and said, you know what, I'm not going to decide a game on a loose ball 80 feet from the basket.
I know you had a challenge.
And yes, Steve Kerr was going in. He was mad, boy. I love seeing them get mad because they can't say what they really want to say. You know what I mean? Like, we got to read between the lines. They got to talk in code. But I got you. I got you. See, it was fine. And he would have got fined regardless, I think. But it was fine up until he got to the part where he says, this is $1 billion industry. Because you know what he's referring to in that situation. He's questioning the integrity of the game. The Warriors, they not only were they up, but they are a massive market with one of the greatest players of all time in Steph Curry. And, you know, that's sort of part of what Steve Kerr is alluding to. Right? How do you make that call in that situation? Where this isn't supposed to look like that. It's I went over it in a video, right? What Charles Barkley was saying with regards to, you know, when Rudy Gobert made the money sign. And whether you believe that sports is rigged or not, right? They can't make it look like it is. Right? Like they can't, right? Because you now have people questioning it. So that was a bad look. I mean, like a really bad look for the NBA in that moment. Because it not only is it against a team like the Warriors, but in a massive game, an Emirates Cup game on national television for everyone to see in real time. Yeah, you can't make that call. And I agree with him. You have to let the players decide. That's how I've always learned this game. You gotta let the players decide, give them the timeout so they can have an opportunity, even though it probably should have just been a jump ball. But I get it. You could argue that that Jalen Green had possession of the ball, and so he could have been afforded a timeout. Great. But to Steve Kerr's point, give the Warriors an opportunity to get a stop. This whole game has been on defense. It's been physical the entire game. And to end it like that was crazy. So with that being said, right, with that ending, does that count as me being incorrect? Because I got hoed by the referees. Like you can't count that against me for real. Like you can't really count that loss against me because I had the Warriors winning. Honestly, I thought it would be more comfortable. I thought that maybe they wouldn't call it, that they wouldn't let as much physicality go because it was, the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, and I was dead fucking wrong. And Steph did not have his masterclass game like I thought he would. But regardless of the fact, they should have won the game. And so I'm not counting that as a loss. Fuck you. That's not a loss on me, dog. That's not. No, sir. No, sir. The Warriors losing in that way, that shouldn't count as a loss. It shouldn't. It shouldn't count as a loss. In my prediction, it don't count as a loss. I don't give a fuck what you say. Oh my God. Wow, that was I couldn't even, I can't believe that. Like, I cannot believe that. 91-90, first of all, what in the 2004 is this final score, bro? 91-94, I mean 91-90 is insane. I do want to highlight Alperen Sengun. I want to say I said that I think I said that he would have to be the difference maker if they were to win this game. Just because of the guard play and the way that they could defend, the way the Warriors could defend, Jalen Green would have a tough time. But Sengun was doing his thing, and it didn't really show in this game very much, right? But I really believe this. I really think that Fred VanVleet is a very undervalued player in the NBA. He only had 8 points last night to go with 7 assists and 2 rebounds. Didn't shoot the ball well at all. I mean, at all. 23% from the field, 22 from 3. But when it comes to someone that can not just be like a mentor and teach, but he goes out there and plays, right? He'll hit shots, he'll play defense. Fred VanVleet, I think, could be a really key piece on a championship team. I'm not saying that it's necessarily the Rockets, but man, Fred's game is really good, and I think someone like him would really benefit from, or actually, the other way around. I think that someone like Anthony Edwards, right, and the Minnesota Timberwolves would really, really benefit from having a Fred VanVleet on their team. And, when you see how they've been utilizing Mike Conley, which is not very well. Wow, like I'm looking at Fred VanVleet. He could fill in that shoe. He could fill in that role really well. Be a shooter, defender, lead the guys on defense. So many positives goes with Fred VanVleet, and he's clearly had a positive impact on the Houston Rockets. I'm not gonna give him all the credit. Those guys are obviously doing their thing as well too. But Fred VanVleet is he's just a really, really good player in the NBA. And looking at his contract, next year would be a team option. So it'll be on the Houston Rockets on whether they want to pick it up or not. But I'm curious. And then he's an unrestricted free agent in 26-27. So I'm curious to see where he goes because, especially towards the end of his career, I can really see him be, a real key piece on a championship level team, right? Where he could just fill in a gap when he needs to. But yeah, man. What a game. What a game. I wish it didn't end like that, but it is what it is. Now, we got to talk about this because this guy has been rumored to, in trade talks with both of these teams, both the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets, right? So, Jimmy Butler, earlier this week, Shams reported that, here goes Shams, right? Shams reported that the Jimmy Butler is now open to these trades, right? He's now open to these trades, and I'm just trying to pull everything up really quickly right here. Here, let's read this together. Let me find it. Where are all of his posts? Let me see. What was it? When the fuck was this? Was it before? Why is it go straight to the Phoenix Suns one? Well, anyway. So it first started with 3 teams, but Shams had reported now a couple days later that the Phoenix Suns were added to the teams that Jimmy Butler's agent Bernie Lee has indicated in league circles that the 6-time All-Star is open to as a destination while Miami listens to trade offers. Sources tell ESPN. And, the destinations are the Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, and the Golden State Warriors. And this is what Jimmy had to say with regards to this.
I actually like it. It's good to be talked about. I don't think there's a such thing as like bad publicity to a point. But somebody talking about me getting traded, that's a lot.
It is a lot, but obviously you're in a situation contractually. You have an opt-out after the year. There's a trade deadline within 2 months. Starting Sunday, players become eligible to be traded. Can you appreciate that? And do you understand that it might be this way now for a little while?
It's fine with me. Doesn't bother me not one bit. And I do appreciate it. I appreciate going out there and hooping. I appreciate being efficient, being effective, and helping my team win. I appreciate it all. I don't ever take playing basketball for anybody for granted.
Where do you stand?
And so obviously, Jimmy being Jimmy, and we got to look at his agent Bernard Lee because he had responded, right? And he said, "All right, listen," and he quote tweeted Shams's tweet about the Phoenix Suns thing. And he said, "All right, listen, I gave you a pass yesterday because I was busy. But if you don't stop putting my name on your complete and utter made up bullshit because you normally aren't worth my time to acknowledge." And then he says, "I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm a middle-aged dad, but just know it would indicate severe dislike." Who the fuck does this guy think he is? Now continue. World, all this is fabricated. I have never, and honestly, it wouldn't help me or the position I represent to do anything that's been reported by said journalist. Then he goes on to say, Shams, this is your opportunity to say, my bad, I let ChatGPT write my tweets and it went to old school Peter Vesey. Shams, Peter was a writer in the 90s. Be a trendsetter. Invent the new. I was hacked. Carry on, y'all. Thank you. Bernie Lee is a fucking liar. Listen. Oh, actually, let's see Shams' response before I respond to all of this shit. Let's see.
That he would be interested in or what have you. And then I saw Jimmy Butler's agent come out and say something about your reporting on that particular story. I know you wanted to comment about that. I want to hear what you have to say.
I 1,000% stand by my reporting. It's fully vetted, and as a professional, that's what I do. That's what I get paid to do. That's what I'm going to do. Report truthfully and accurately. That's what this is. Period.
What did you report exactly? Remind the audience.
So Tuesday, I reported that the Miami Heat have begun listening to trade offers for Jimmy Butler, and Butler prefers a win-now destination. And 3 of the teams on Tuesday that I reported that his agent has indicated in league circles that he is open to: the Mavericks, the Rockets, 2 of the Texas teams, as well as the Golden State Warriors. Yesterday, I added that there was another team also in that list, the Phoenix Suns. And that was the reporting. And so I 1,000% stand by it. It is 1,000% facts.
When you say that
it is 1,000% facts. If he could have said, fuck you, Bernie, he would have. I got you, Shams. I got you. Fuck you, Bernie. Fuck you, Bernard. Like, listen, man. Listen. I told y'all over the summer, Jimmy was out of here. He was gone. I told you guys this. I'm not in NBA circles. The writing's on the wall. Pat Riley made comments. It was a little thing in the play. I mean, his performance has been his performance. And then you add the fact that he wanted his extension done already. Jimmy Butler did. And rightfully so, the Miami Heat didn't want to extend him. And even in them trying to trade him now, I don't know if it's I don't know what it is all of a sudden, right? I've always been of the mindset of why don't you just let the player go and walk? You clear up cap. You clear up your salary cap, and then you can go and maneuver, right? When you make certain trades or when you try to sign someone, like, you now have room. And so I was with the Miami Heat. I was like, yeah, you could just let him walk. Even though I also had the feeling that they would eventually trade him. And it became clear to me because of the way Tyler Hero's been playing. The opportunities that Tyler Hero's been getting. I know some people hate talking about, oh, the number 1 and the number 2 option and the this and the that and whatever the fuck. Here's the reality. This is the fucking reality, right? You can't let somebody be the number 1 option for 82 games, talking about Tyler Hero, taking on the brunt, the burden of the offense, the double teams, the effort, the working out, all of it. You can't let that man do that for 82 games. And then as soon as the playoffs come around, it's like, oh, it's playoff Jimmy. You got to move the fuck over, kid. It don't work like that. It doesn't. And in order to mitigate that situation, it'd just be easier to take Jimmy out. And then you add the fact that he's 35 years old, looking for like a 3-4 year contract. He's gonna make $50 million next year if they were to pick it up. And I think the hard truth is he even worth that anymore? We're talking about maybe a 23 point per game scorer in the regular season, maybe. Never expanded his 3-point shot like that. He's had a ton of injuries over the last couple of years. We saw what just happened to Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. And that guy was a 4-time champion. And so you can understand why Jimmy would be a little bit pressed to get his contract extended already. And for Jimmy, if he's not going to get the max money in Miami and he's going to have to be traded, then ideally it would be on a winning contending team, because that's a spot where he would probably be willing to take a pay cut. And that's the funny part in all of this, right? The nature of Shams' job is to tell the truth and to relay information. Whether the players like it or not, these guys have relationships with front office people, with management, with owners. Hell, you don't even know if they know your friend, your friend's friend, their girl, their girlfriends. You don't know how deep their network goes. Right? Because aside from an organization, how else would you find out stuff like this if it wasn't for, a player talking to their girl and then their girl just having little conversation with their homegirl? Oh, we looking at places over here, there, this, that, and the third. And then someone like Shams gets that information, and all of a sudden you're able to come up with these things. So to his point, right? His sources are vetted. He's just not telling you who it is, but he's telling you exactly what they said. And so in that regard, he's not lying. Compare that to a Bernie Lee, who's the very nature of their job is white lies, damn near. He has to try to get the best deals for his clients so he can get a better percentage, so he can make more money. And if all of a sudden this news gets out and people like me start questioning Jimmy Butler and his motives and his intentions and how he feels about certain things, once these conversations get deeper and deeper, Jimmy loses a little bit of leverage, in my opinion. Because all of a sudden, he goes from a player that had all the cards to, all right, well, you are getting older. Numbers ain't like that. So if you're talking about playoff Jimmy, we're not even talking about the 82 games that I'm paying you for. So if that's the case, then I gotta take some money off the top. And I think it might just be their way of, oh, I don't want my player to look like a prima donna, and you have Jimmy Butler just saying whatever the fuck. So I think it's hilarious. I think it was great. It was great for the week. It was great news. Great news. Now, in terms of those teams, right? Which teams are real possible in terms of where Jimmy Butler can fit in and actually be effective? Because I think you could instantly take two teams out. The Houston Rockets, get the fuck out of here. It wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out. Excuse me. Excuse me. In the way that Jimmy plays, he'd be playing with a bunch of young kids again. I don't think he wants that situation. The Dallas Mavericks. Where the fuck would you put him? First of all, he can't shoot like PJ Washington. And I think he'd probably be a little bit smaller, so PJ's able to switch with bigger players. And then it's Luka's team. There's just no room for a Jimmy Butler or his personality. There just isn't. Which leaves us with the Suns and the Warriors. I think the Warriors make sense if the Warriors can keep Kuminga. If Kuminga is gone and you're swapping him and Jimmy Butler, well, you're getting a 35-year-old guy versus the guy that could potentially develop into, you know, a really good player still, right? And so I think the Warriors make sense in terms of system. I think they can utilize him. But again, his three-point shooting will still be an issue. Which leaves me with the Phoenix Suns, right? I think this could kind of work for both the Miami Heat and the Phoenix Suns. You swap him in for Bradley Beal, right? Now you can get Booker off of the ball a little bit. He could just be in a catch and make a play or catch and shoot or catch and score situation instead of being the point guard, right? Jimmy can kind of play that role, right? The facilitator until he needs to be Jimmy. He's a great slasher for those guys. Also a veteran team, veteran guys. So I think he could fit in with the Phoenix Suns. And then for Bradley Beal, if he's healthy, I kind of like the pairing of him with Tyler Hero. Now, there isn't going to be a lot of defense being played between the two of them, but I kind of like the 1-2 punch of a Tyler Hero and a Bradley Beal. So I think it can kind of work for both the teams. And then when you look at the Miami Heat, do we still have anything in here? I think the Miami Heat need to blow it up. I think they got to blow it the fuck up. You get rid of everyone except for Tyler Hero. Maybe Bam. But you get rid of everyone except for Tyler Hero and just rebuild. You can have Bradley Beal kind of be a part of that and just get rid of everybody else. Because it hasn't worked. They haven't gotten a new star except for Hero. Jimmy is aging. Bam hasn't gotten to kind of quite where he needs to be. Yeah, they're just kind of stuck in no man's land, being a tough team. And when you get the label of a tough team, some people love it, but if all you are is a tough team, that means you're not that great. And so I think they need to just blow it up and just start anew. Right? And this kind of leads me to this kind of leads me to the Brooklyn Nets, right? Because reportedly the Brooklyn Nets are also listening to offers for Cam Johnson, Dory Finney-Smith, and Dennis Schroeder, which, all that really is they're trying to get in on the draft. They're winning more than they thought they would. And I mean, if you really think about what if we got a Cam Johnson with a Tyler Hero, or a Dennis Schroeder with a Tyler Hero, just something along those lines. And so, you never know how this will shake out in the NBA, but I do think that there is some opportunity to blow things up and potentially get something in return out there. It would just depend on what deal they can make. But yeah, man, the Miami Heat, they ended up winning last night actually too. The first half of that game against the Toronto Raptors, they looked compromised. Like 100%, they looked fully compromised until they were able to settle things down and got it together. But Jimmy Butler only took 8 shot attempts. So, take from that what you will, but he has not been the Jimmy Butler that we know, and, we'll see how that works out for him. Now, let's move right along and start talking about my beloved New York Knicks. Now, I was mad on Wednesday. like truthfully, I was upset on Wednesday. I can't believe that we lost the way that we did to the Atlanta Hawks. And I got to give Trae Young his flowers. He made all the right reads and all the right plays. There's just no way around it. He read the pressure from the Knicks well every time. He knew what they were trying to do, whether they were trying to force him into passing it or shooting. He just knew what he needed to do, and he made the right decision and the right play every single time. And he never looked like he forced anything. I don't think I saw a bad shot all night from him. And I'm not going to fucking show the rolling dice on the court because fuck this guy, but he beat out he beat out Jalen Brunson. I mean, I told y'all exactly. And I'm only counting one game that I did not call, which was the Mavericks OKC game, because I was way the fuck off. But the Warriors should have won. I told y'all that I picked the Knicks. My heart picked the Knicks. That's what happened. My heart chose the Knicks. My mind was having trouble. It was fighting it. Because this matchup is the matchup. Right? A part of our story in terms of the New York Knicks, if we're going to be a championship team, a part of it is we're going to have to take out the Atlanta Hawks. That's going to be a part of the journey. And until they could do that, they can't be looking at a championship. It's par for the course, right? This is what they have to go through and endure. They have to be able to beat their rival. And if they're going to win a championship at some point, they're going to have to beat Trae Young along the way. And it just is what it is. And they're just not a good matchup for the New York Knicks. Trae did a great job of he did a great job of being aggressive. He only had 22 points. He took 22 shots. He was being super aggressive. And I told y'all coming in, right? If he was going to come in the game and just pass and do all these things, right, it wasn't going to work. And yes, He ended up getting his 11 assists, but he was very aggressive looking to score, and I think it really threw the New York Knicks off. And where he was able to adjust throughout the game and read the game, the Knicks weren't able to do that. The Knicks needed to be able to dictate when he was aggressive and when he was passive, to be able to throw off the team's rhythm, but instead they were at his will, and that was really the difference in the game. And Dyson Daniels did a real. He got no steals in the game, right? No steals in the game. He got 2 blocks. It wasn't this super impressive defensive game in terms of stats, right? But when you watch it, he was fucking incredible. Like, he was genuinely incredible. He understands that Jalen Brunson is going to try to be physical. He understands that star players are going to get their moves off and their shots off. His game plan the entire night was not to be overly physical with Jalen Brunson, because what happens when you step up against a great ball handler? You give them room to be able to time it and get around you. That's what Jalen Brunson is really good at, right? He can get around your hip. He can take that bump and get around you and go downhill. And what Dyson Daniels did that whole game is he just shaded him. He knows all of the moves. He knows what his tendencies are. He's going to shade him in contest and just use his size. Force him to do a whole bunch of extra dribbles. Force him into a second and third look. Or pass it out. He had a great game plan and he did it to a T. You just gotta. I was mad, y'all. I was mad as shit. I was mad as shit. Now before we get out of here, we're gonna talk about some predictions, because we got 2 games tomorrow: the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Houston Rockets, and the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks. And for me, it's pretty cut and dry. OKC beats Houston because in a game of defense, OKC has a little bit more, not a little bit, they have more firepower. And the best player on the floor in Shea. So I give that edge to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Unless Fred decides to go and have a fucking legacy game, but we'll see about that. And I even when it happened, I thought Milwaukee would beat the Atlanta Hawks. Excuse me. I mean, even before the games happened, like I had like I said, I had the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Golden State Warriors in the cup final. But obviously the Warriors got cheated, so here we are. The Milwaukee Bucks better beat the fuck out of the Atlanta Hawks. Like, no bullshit. like no bullshit. Like, they gotta have our trade, bro. Like, they gotta have our trade. Like, they better not. Trae Young better not do some crazy shit. If he does some crazy shit to Damian Lillard and Giannis, I give up. Like, I give up. I give up. Like, what are we doing? So, I expect the Milwaukee Bucks to take him out. I think they're, Atlanta's not going to have an answer for Giannis. And then for the OKC Thunder, I don't think they're going to have an answer for Shea. So, Milwaukee Bucks, OKC Thunder for the Emirates Cup Finals. You could book that. But that's going to do it for me for now. Now, until Monday, I'll see y'all. Y'all are the best. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Thank y'all for just bearing with me. I know we had some technical difficulties earlier. And y'all are the best, man. But before I get out of here, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good shit. It really helps the channel out. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all are the fucking ghosts. We're trying to take this to the moon, as y'all know. We're going to do it. All right, we're going to do it. But like I said, that's going to do it for me for now. Thank you so much. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see y'all on Monday, man. Peace, 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 peace. Later. Peace.